Kyle Pitts went from game-breaking rookie to just another guy, and it was completely out of his control. Pitts' rapid decline was thanks to poor quarterback play and terrible coaching by Arthur Smith, whose only philosophy seemed to be pass ball bad and run ball good. I don't know exactly what Smith was thinking, but it was tough in Atlanta the past 2 years, and no one had it worse than the freak of nature Kyle Pitts. People in the league seem to have forgotten just how elite he is. Since his rookie year, he was already in the NFL top 100 and a Pro Bowler, but has yet to reach either accomplishment since. Fans don't talk about the unicorn the way they did when he put up over 1,000 yards as a rookie tight end, second most ever, only behind Mike Ditka in 1961. People seem to forget he was the highest drafted tight end ever at pick 4 thanks to his dominance in college football, and the hype around Pitts dying down is understandable, although foolish. Pitts is starting his revenge tour September 9th, and it's against his former coach, Arthur Smith in Pittsburgh, to kick off the season. I got a feeling he is ready to embarrass his old coach with a massive performance, as well as complete a long season of dominance to take revenge against all his haters. The thing is, he just needs to keep being the unicorn he has always been, and the help around him will elevate him back to his deserved status as one of the best in the game. Let me explain how 2 offseason additions to the Falcons will completely reshape Kyle Pitts' career, as well as what Pitts himself actually does to be so elite. So the first addition that will absolutely change Pitts' future is obviously Kirk Cousins. But I want to take a deeper dive and show you how and why this is so massive of a change. Cousins' first full-time year as a starter in 2015, his most targeted receiver, who also led the team in yards and touchdowns, was tight end Jordan Reed. He targeted Reed 114 times in 2015, and he continued to target him as well as Vernon Davis over 140 times combined the following year. Then Cousins' first year in Minnesota, he targeted Kyle Rudolph 82 times. 2021, Tyler Conklin had 87 targets. Again in 2022, he targeted his tight ends over 140 times with Hawkinson, seeing 86 targets in just 10 games. What was my point? Cousins absolutely loves to target his tight ends, and with the exception of Vernon Davis, who joined Cousins at 32, every single tight end he is thrown to had their best statistical year with him as their quarterback. Jordan Reed, Kyle Rudolph, Tyler Conklin, Irv Smith, TJ Hawkinson, and even the guys you never heard of. Not one tight end Cousins ever had was as talented as Kyle Pitts, the highest drafted tight end in the history of the NFL. Pitts actually has a quarterback who will target him tons, and this one is far more likely to connect when he targets. Time and time again, the Falcons quarterbacks took shots at an open Kyle Pitts and missed on huge first downs or even potential touchdown shots because they were just not as accurate as the proven Kirk Cousins. Not only would they miss a wide open Pitts, but many times they wouldn't even read the defense correctly, and they would miss the easy shot, leaving Falcons fans frustrated as their superstar tight end was not being utilized to his full potential. So the quarterback is a massive change for the Falcons. But the other change is the new offensive coordinator, Zac Robinson. Robinson learned under Sean McVay and has been the passing game coordinator for the past couple years in Los Angeles. It's safe to say he will want to air the ball out with all his weapons and full control over the offense. But what is even more exciting is the way you can expect him to use Pitt's extraordinary talents. Looking at the 2022 Rams, you can see tight end Tyler Higbee led the entire team in targets. Robinson made Higbee a focal point of the offense, and he did so in many creative ways. First thing I noticed when studying the film was the crazy number of screens they ran for Higbee. We are talking 2, 3, even 4 times in a single game. Higbee is a good athlete, and the creative design to get him the ball paid off for the Rams. But Higbee doesn't even compare to Pitts. We've already seen Pitts with a few screens in the NFL, and he had been very productive on these plays. but I expect to see a massive uptick in these plays for the Falcons. The other thing you see when watching the Rams the last couple years is their alignment with Higbee, getting him on an island by himself. They loved running trips with the tight end flexed out opposite the receivers, and they also loved running duo sets with the tight end holding down one side all alone. They often targeted the tight end when he had his own side and more space to work with. Pitts did do the same under Arthur Smith, and he proved elite when on an island, but he didn't do it enough. Offensive coordinator Zac Robinson will change that. When Robinson was asked in training camp about Pitts, he said, quote, "He's learning basically two positions. There's some tight end and there's some receiver. We'll move him around the formation. We'll use him as a receiver. We'll use him all across the board." Well, that's exciting news for Falcons fans, because someone is finally going to make the most of this unicorn in Atlanta. But now, why is Kyle Pitts so special, you might wonder? Well, there are a lot of standout traits, to be honest. But first, we should discuss his speed. The guy is crazy fast for the tight end position. So fast, he even ran a better 40 time, 4.4 flat, than some of the best receivers in the league. Just to name a few examples, you could say Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, and Justin Jefferson, just to name a few. Well, Pitts was heavier and taller than every one of those guys, standing 6'6", 254 pounds. So that speed is pretty outrageous, and it shows all over his tape. He runs away from defenders on crossers for easy completions, and he constantly gets behind defenders for huge plays. DBs sometimes even give him easy completions underneath because they are scared of his deep threat ability. That 6'6" frame and nearly 7-foot wingspan also proves a massive advantage downfield when fighting for contested catches or being a large back shoulder target. His quarterbacks prior to Cousins did not always take advantage of that ability, like on this play here, where the DB stayed over the top and Pitts throttled down, clearly looking to box out for a back shoulder catch, but Marcus Mariota launches a completely uncatchable ball. Cousins is comfortable throwing over and over to the back shoulder of a guy he trusts. So the speed and the massive frame are huge parts of Pitts' game, but he is so much more than just a freak athlete. He actually has some smooth route running skills. I was really impressed with just how much Pitts added some creativity to his route and did more than just run the whiteboard version you see in team meetings. He's shown a great feel for pacing to lull the defender to sleep before exploding downfield for a deep shot like on this play. He always gives a head fake and uses great footwork at the top of his routes to create good separation out of his break. And I love this rep by Pitts. Even though he doesn't get the ball thrown his way, I think it highlights how he is so much more than just an athlete. So let's start it back from the beginning and break it down. First, he stems the defensive back inside to give himself more space to the outside, while also making the DB work to stay on top of the route. Then he smoothly glides back into the DB's outside shoulder and uses a swim move to shed the defender's punch and prevent himself from being jammed up. Now, this part was really well executed. Pitts looks back to his quarterback over his inside shoulder and really sells a seam or an inside breaking route before quickly bursting outside like some 180-pound receiver. Easy throw and huge gain for his quarterback if they had just looked Pitts' way. Very, very few tight ends can do that at that speed like Pitts. He has also shown that coaches can draw up some tough routes for him, and he can win unlike most tight ends, such as return routes, or a beautiful out and up that you can see here. He leaves this defense looking foolish and turns it into a touchdown thanks to that great route running and athleticism. Pitts is more than his quick feet though. He can be physical at the catch point, fighting for contested catches through tons of contact, or he can use his great strength and 254-pound frame to run straight through someone trying to press him. He has completely bullied many guys who thought they could get in his face and jam him up. I mean, seriously, how do you beat this guy when he's both as agile and fast as a receiver, but he consistently bullies straight through you anytime you press him? And don't even think about guarding him with a linebacker. I'm serious. I don't know why anyone tries this. It doesn't matter how good your coverage linebacker is or what personnel you want to have out there. If you're a defensive coordinator and you put your linebacker on Kyle Pitts, then you are asking to be embarrassed. He does it to even the very best in the game, like Fred freaking Warner. If you're on the goal line and you think you can drop a defensive end to cover him on play action, well, just ask the Jets how that'll go for you. Kyle Pitts is just a complete nightmare for opposing teams because he is so damn good at so many things. We didn't even jump into his high IQ to find open space when his quarterback is scrambling, or his elite yards after the catch ability thanks to that insane athleticism to destroy defenders' angles and make guys bounce off his massive frame. Pitts can beat you in so many ways. He's going to get the Travis Kelce or Robert Gronkowski treatment before too long. You will either need an all-pro defensive back to follow him everywhere he goes, or you got to double cover this guy. He's a lot closer to Megatron than he is your average tight end. And now he can finally show it with Cousins and Zac Robinson in town. Arthur Smith better be ready for a long day, September 9th. And the league needs to beware because the Kyle Pitts Revenge Tour starts now. If you made it this far, then thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please leave a like and subscribe. It helps my channel grow, and it encourages me to make more content like this. Also, leave a comment. If there's a player, coach, or a team you'd like me to make a video on, I'd love to have some new ideas. Well, that's all for now, but I hope to see you again soon.